right, guys. So this is our first meeting of November 2015. And I just want to start out with Success Club for October. We had a really good month, considering that it was October. We had a lot of people hit Success Club. We had, okay, where's my paper that I wrote this on? There we go. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people hit Success Club last month. So we had, should I announce myself? Chrissy Bergeron.
Sure.
SC10, Matt Bergeron, SC8, Muriel, SC8, Joe Carter with 6, Connie Spittler with 6, Karen Tran with 6, and Mary Wegman with 6. And those last 3 there are newbie coaches, so that's pretty awesome. I was really happy to see that. Joanne, technically got 6. Joanne had 4 and put 2 in her husband's business center, because Joanne's trying to build right now. She's really close to diamond, so it's a good move. She's foregoing the Success Club to try to build, his business as well. But she technically hit Success Club. And then a lot of us on the board here. So we had new coach Chris Silva with 2, Andrea Salvo with 2, Jen Ellis with 2, Kylie Mabbitt with 2, Sarah Illingworth with 2, Jen Reale 2, and Leslie McGowan 1. If I missed you, it's because the team is too big, which is awesome. Right before the call, I went through, and I do this every month before the call. I go through the sponsorship drill down that you guys can all access that too. If you go into my business and then you go to my downline, there's all different ways to view your downline. So you have the graphical genealogy where you can see your tree, but then there's also the sponsorship drill down, and you can see, it will first just show you your coaches that you've sponsored. But then if your coach has sponsored coaches, you'll have a little plus, and when you hit the plus, it shows all the coaches that they've sponsored. And then if they've sponsored anyone, it shows another plus. So you can keep showing your whole downline, and it's, in a linear form instead of that graphic form. And it'll show right there who has Success Club points so far this month, and then it shows prior months as well. So when I was going through tonight, I had it took a while. I had to, because when you look at the previous ones too, you have to scroll over. So there's too many of you, which is really awesome. It was actually kind of a humbling moment for me. But basically, my point is I post in the team page always at the end of the month, so please put your Success Club points in there. So I'm going to have to start to get a little strict that if you don't put them in there, and I miss you on the Success Club post, which I'll be putting up tomorrow, then, I'm sorry, but there's too many of you, which is awesome. So please tell me your Success Club points at the end of each month. Some announcements. So the 21-day fix is on sale again with 21-day fix extreme. A little tip I have for you. Anyone that talked or that you talked to last month about the 21-day fix that didn't go for it, message them and do it soon. Do it this week. And just be like, hey, I'm not sure. I usually am just really quick, and I'm like, just a heads up, the 21-day fix promotion was extended through November. I know you weren't able to get on board last month. Just wanted to let you know that. Are you still interested? And then a great week, to start, would be the Monday after Thanksgiving, because that's already, the end of the month. And then I already calculated you have a good 3 weeks there between Thanksgiving and Christmas week. You'd end a good week before Christmas. So that's my game plan. You don't have to do what I'm doing, but that was just kind of an idea I had for everyone. And size is also on sale, which is really cool. So if you have anybody that is already doing the 21-day fix, right? And now maybe they've done it a couple months, they're still drinking Shakeology, you maybe want to offer the coaching to them. Size is a great program for someone that's not ready to go to the next level with fitness, but it will give them some change up in their, in their workouts. And 21-day fix extreme is a great next step for anyone that's ready, to go to that next level. So you have two options there for someone that's already doing the 21-day fix, drinking Shakeology and wanting to sign up as a coach. You have a couple of good challenge pack options. So that's another little tip. All right, so without further ado, I asked Jen Ellis to do our call tonight because of a few reasons. So Jen hit Diamond a couple of weeks ago, right around the 7-month mark of starting her business. And Jen's goal was to hit Diamond in a year, which, when she told me that, I was like, yeah, all right, you're going to hit it way before a year. But still, it's pretty cool that she blew it out of the water. I mean, I think she told me that like 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. It wasn't that long ago that she set the goal to be by the time she was a year in, and she hit it pretty quickly after that. Before I, get Jen talking, I just want to tell you a little bit about Jen. So when Jen and I first connected, I'm trying to remember. I think that I Facebook chatted you up first, right? Okay. So I Facebook chatted her up. She had liked some stuff. So I reached out and just said hello. And then she reached out quite a while later, about the 21-day fix. And I, followed protocol, and I, send her some videos and talk to her about Shakeology. And she was like, no, I'm all set. I have my own shake. And I was like, all right, no problem. So, so Jen did a challenge group. She did it with the 21-day fix extreme. No Shakeology. I even asked her. So I even was like, okay, so she signed up, and I was like, I'm going to send you, how about I send you a sample so you can try it? She's like, nah, no thanks. So she wouldn't even take a sample, right, Jen? Am I remembering this? Okay. I didn't go back and look at the messaging, but yes, she was like, no, really, leave me alone. I know what I want. So she didn't want a sample, she did the extreme, she got in the group, she plugged in, and shortly after, I want to say it was after your first round, maybe it took a little longer, but I want to say it was after your first round that you were like, okay, I want to do this, I want to be a coach. So Jen is a great example of, do not count anybody out. Do not decide in your head when you go through who you're going to present the business opportunity with, who you're going to present the products to. Do not go and decide for them what they're going to say. Because even when they say no, a lot of times it turns into a yes. And it has to be, on their time. So, don't ever go through and say they're going to not do it or whatever, or especially when they say no, don't count them out. Always keep the door open. So once you've been able to open the door with someone, keep it propped. Always keep it propped. So my other little story about Jen is from the time Jen started, Jen has been totally plugged in. Jen has 2 kids, 2 young boys. Her oldest is in kindergarten. Her youngest is 2 or 3? 2. Her youngest is 2. She got 2 young kids. She works full time. Her husband owns his own business. So, there's a lot that comes with that as well. And she's been able to work this business every single day. Like, why I wanted Jen to talk to you is Jen has been plugged in since day one, every single day. She is the prime example of consistency. She's had tough times. She's had periods of time where probably she hasn't done everything every day, but those certain things every single day, she has, you know, her certain things that she makes sure that she gets done. And she's managed to organize all of it. So she's managed to work full time, have 2 boys, and have this continue to be a positive in her life, and build something. So, Jen, so we're going to do this in a little bit of a little Q&A form. And I just wanted, Jen, if you could just start out and just, you know, tell us a little bit about how you came to Beachbody, to becoming a coach, you know, a little background of who you are, where you came from, and how you got here.
Okay, sorry, I just had to figure out how to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Chrissy, for the intro. So a little bit about how I got started with Beachbody and becoming a coach. I've always been into health and fitness, probably since we graduated Stonehill. I did equestrian while I was there, but that wasn't like really a very physically demanding sport. And while I was there, I met my husband, Matt, and he's very much into fitness. He owns his own gym. So he would like write me programs. I would do them. And I always figured, I can't imagine a day where I wouldn't want to work out. You know, I'm going to do this when I have kids, and nothing's going to stop me from doing all of that. And it really became a huge outlet for me when my mom got sick with Lou Gehrig's disease, and I developed anxiety because of it. And I realized, okay, I need exercise in my life to help combat the anxiety that I was going through. And then, you know, fast forward several years, and, you know, we were married, settled in at the house, you know, had my first son, and I did not work out at all during my first pregnancy. I totally settled into I'm just going to enjoy being the pregnant lady, and, you know, people are going to give me stuff and food and whatever, and I'll just have that. I didn't gain like a ton of weight, but I actually became gestational diabetic during my first pregnancy. And they said it was mostly due to, you know, the hormones in the body and stuff, but I had to really watch what I was eating during the first pregnancy. So, you know, I learned a little bit more about nutrition then. And being a vegetarian, I had to learn about finding other ways to get protein and stuff into my diet. Still wasn't working out. Had Will. I tried P90X maybe a year after he was born. Matt found it on Craigslist for me, and you know, he met some guy at like a Dunkin' Donuts and got the program. And so, you know, I did that I don't think I did the full 90 days. I think I did maybe 2 months of it, and I thought it was good, but it was an hour-long program, and with the new baby, I just, you know, didn't have the time. And then baby number 2 happened, didn't work out during that pregnancy either. And it wasn't until about this time last year that I realized, you know, my anxieties were coming back. I wasn't eating terrible, but I knew I wasn't doing the best by myself. You know, Matt would try and write me workouts, and I'm like, you know, I can't work out at 9:00 at night. It's just not working. I'm exhausted. I need something quick and easy to do first thing in the morning. So I found T25. I'm like, I can do 25 minutes in the morning. There's no excuse for that to not fit 25 minutes in during my day. And that kind of kick-started me into loving a Beachbody product. I was seeing results, and I was able to stick with it every day. And then Chrissy had reached out, and I had seen her posts about, workouts and Shakeology and stuff. And then it wasn't until I think February, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this 21-day fix. I want the nutrition part of it, to learn how to eat better. And then I just, loved the challenge group atmosphere, the accountability, meeting so many people who were, trying to do the same thing that I was. And after that first round, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a coach. I want to help others. And, Chrissy was such a great coach to me that, I just really wanted to, spread that with others. And so that's kind of how I got on my Beachbody journey, and I haven't looked back since, and I'm very grateful for it. It's been life-changing in many ways, not only for my own health and fitness, but mentally for me. I, knock on wood, haven't had any panic attacks in the last year. And my kids think it's hysterical that I work out every day, and they like to help out and stuff. So it's just been a good positive thing for my whole family. So.
Okay. So you see, Jen she bought P90X on Craigslist and then wouldn't even try Shakeology. And now she's a diamond coach. You see what I'm saying? So never close the door. Somebody comes to you, the door is open, keep it propped. All right, Jen. So I want you, I've been with you since, it's funny, it's been 7 months, but it feels longer because one thing Jen does, and I say consistency, and I offer this to everyone that I sponsor, but a weekly call. Jen has me locked in Wednesday nights, 8:30, my phone rings. Jen's on the other end. I think we might have missed 1 or 2 in the last 7 months just because of circumstances. But, she shows up, and sometimes we have a lot to say, and sometimes, I always have a lot to say, but, she's definitely very, very consistent. So I'm hoping that we all can take something away from that piece. I'm not saying that you have to be on a call with me every week. I'm just saying find something that keeps you accountable. Jen has found a way to keep herself accountable to this as well. So Jen, speaking of being accountable with having kids and a job and, all these other things going on, there has to be something or some things that you've had to give up in order to, find the time to dedicate to your business. So could you talk a little bit about any, thing or things that you've had to give up that you used to do on a regular basis that, maybe you don't do anymore or do, only once a week or whatever?
Okay. So TV is probably the biggest thing that I haven't completely given it up. My DVR is full, but it's tough because with Matt owning his own business, his hours are opposite of mine. So he's home in the morning while I'm at work, and then he doesn't get home until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night sometimes. So nighttime is our only real time together. So that would be watching TV shows, pretty much. And, now we'll still, get one show in a night or something like that. But it used to be, we would watch a whole bunch more. And he would work on his business while doing it. So now I work on my business while, or catching up on our shows. So we're both kind of bookends now. The other thing I gave up, which was so easy to give up, was my lunch breaks at work. I would read, a book or something if I was into something at the time, or I would literally just surf the internet, read stupid articles on Yahoo, or, look, fill my Amazon wish list of things for the kids for, upcoming birthdays and stuff. And it was wasted time, and I kind of knew it. all the time. So I was very happy to have something like this to fill my day more and be more meaningful. So my lunchtime is my power hour every day. I make the most out of that when I get my lunchtime. And I would say those are probably the two biggest things. Other than that, I mean, I haven't really had to give up much. I still spend time with my kids. I still make dinner, do laundry, all the other things that come along with the house stuff. You know, I think it's just finding a way to make it work within your own day. Everybody's got a different daily schedule. So, my daily schedule, I do my workouts the first thing I wake up in the morning, because I know if I don't do it, then it's not happening. So, I wake up, do my workout downstairs, come upstairs, drink my shake, get ready for work, take Will to school, start my regular work day at work. And then if there's quiet times, like I'll check, some messages here and there throughout my work day. But for the most part, I've learned to not answer them right away. I did in the beginning. I was very bad with a schedule. Somebody would message me and be like, oh my God, I have to answer, right away. And, for fear they wouldn't want to be there 2 hours later. But they're there. And I've learned that, you just have to create that schedule. And people told me that so much in the beginning, all the YouTube videos that I watched and the other, groups that I was in. I was like, how can they have these schedules? But, it takes time. You can't just tell somebody who's brand new, oh, just do it, this, and this. You have to figure it out for yourself because everybody's day is different and not every day goes as planned either. So.
Thank you. All right. So, let me see here. I think I have wrong thing written down here, but you kind of started to say what a typical day looks like for you. So I don't know if you can elaborate on that a little more, in a week, do you have a certain schedule of you do a certain thing every Monday, or how do you organize your days and your weeks, and what is a typical, beach body week look like for you?
So I definitely make sure I get my 3 posts in a day. I use Instagram and Facebook as my main modes of social media. I've found a good niche with my Instagram. I know sometimes it's hit or miss for some people, but it seems to work. And my first post in the morning is almost always either a workout or something motivational. I mean, if you look back through my last 7 months, you will see almost every single morning post has something to do with my fitness journey, be it nutrition or a motivational thing, or most times it's a workout that I was doing. And it seems to really work for me. I mean, people message me and they're like, oh, you didn't post a workout this morning. Did you get it in? Making fun of me almost, because I didn't have it up there that day. So it shows people are watching, what I'm doing, that they have expectations of me now because I've created that. So I make sure I get that in, especially in my morning post. So in the morning I'll post that. I also post in my challenge groups, whether it's a free group or if I'm posting in a 21-day fix group. I make sure I get my posts in for that as well. And then, when I go to work, I have to be in work mode. But then I make use of my lunchtime. And so my power hour basically is messaging people, doing the forming, or following up on people who are actually interested in doing a program. I've also been part of a challenge where we're reaching out to people who may want to do the business. So that's something else I've added to my power hour with my messaging. So it's kind of 2 forming, 2 follow-ups of people doing who want to do the program or asking questions, and 2 invites to a sneak peek. So that's kind of how my day has been lately. And then I actually have a bunch of challengers that aren't on Facebook, so I do my email posts midday for them. I do the same posts that we do in the challenge group. I just email it to them. So that I do them midday because it's just easier that way. And then when I'm home, when I'm cooking dinner, I'll like check messages and stuff like that. Answer any questions that somebody might have. And then once the boys are in bed, I do some more of my forming messages. I work on my like page as well. That hasn't been, I haven't been as consistent with that as I want to be, but I've decided to make that one of my priorities during my week now. So I've got scheduled posts set up to go for the rest of this week. I'm working with my husband to create forms for my page so that if anybody is interested in a challenge group or interested in coaching, they can fill out a form, and it would get sent to me with all their information as far as contacting them goes. So I'm really trying to build my business in that direction as well. I've learned a lot from my coaches. I schedule, because I'm like so regimented, like I don't miss calls with Chrissy. And not that I expect my coaches to always speak with me every week, but we've created that pattern as well. So Susan and Muriel have been amazing to work with. We talk every week, either on the phone for a half hour or we're messaging if we miss a call. But they help me more than they know. Sue's dedication to her like page. I mean, she's got over 1,000 people, close to 1,000 people following her. She's getting her point across with healthy foods and things like that. So she motivates me to get my business in gear. Like you don't realize how much the people you're helping help you. So I feel like I can't let them down. So that's why I push through every week, and I'm as consistent as I am. And it doesn't always pan out the way you want. I hit diamonds and then I'm like, oh, I didn't hit Success Club. What the hell is that about? But it wasn't for lack of trying or not doing the things I was doing. It was just what happened. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I just kind of keep plugging away. And I think if that's the biggest takeaway anybody can get is that, there's ups and downs. And, I think as long as we just keep being ourselves and not trying to copy other people or, reinvent the wheel for certain things, we'll be fine. I truly believe that doing, working your business, being the person who you are comes through in your post no matter what. When you're trying to be cookie cutter or, trying to be someone that you want to be, I think is good, but you have to make sure part of you is still in it, more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I call that the best you. So it's, if you're trying to always become better, and that's okay, but you don't want to try to be the best someone else. The best you is not someone else. So that's a really good tip. Something that you've also done that you haven't mentioned, but you are like a follow-up queen. You definitely follow up. And that, I think that's part of the consistency that ties with the consistency. But the other thing is talking each week, and what Jen's talking about, so whether that's on the phone or even if it's messaging, like I'm going to message my coach every single Wednesday and just check in and run a couple questions by them or whatever it might be for you. But checking in with your coach at least every other week, if not every week, you're not bothering them. It helps them too, because it keeps, when we talk about something, it keeps me fresh as well. Jen will ask me something, and I'll be like, a lot of times I'll have one or two people, I'm dealing with the same thing. And for some reason, Jen asking me clears my mind of all of my, cobwebs, of all of my roadblocks that I'm having with people. And I can just focus on Jen and give her great advice. And then so many times, I mean, Jen can probably agree, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do that too. I should follow that too. So you're never bothering your coach, or it's always, I mean, I think I don't want to speak for Jen, but I think Jen, I know well enough what your mission is, and you probably have that feeling like, I have been waiting for all of you. I started this, and this is like the beginning of my dream that I've had since day one. I've been waiting for an army. I wanted to build an army of awesome people, passionate people, good people that make me better. So, if that's what you want as well, work with your sponsor to build that, because your sponsor wants it to. If your sponsor's working with you, they want it to. But the follow-up is so key. Like, when you start to really get consistent with the follow-up is when you see that most of the time someone is not ignoring you. They're just busy, so many times they're pregnant and they didn't know it. And then, and then you find out, like, in 4 months, you're like, oh, or someone passed, or they hurt something, their back is hurt, or their child is sick, or they're just busy, and ordering that challenge pack is just last on their list. So one thing with that consistency piece that Jen definitely has is following up. So I
actually have a funny, I guess it's a funny story about that. So there was a friend from high school that was very interested in it. She had, she wanted to do the 21 Day Fix because another friend was doing it. And she's like, but I'm going away for the whole month of August. And I can't have it shipped to my beach house. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then she was like, I don't think I'm going to do it now. And then it was on promotion. I was like, are you sure you don't want to do it? And it was like, I don't know, 2 months later. And she's like, oh, out of the blue, she's like, I think I'm going to sign up for it now, And it was just because we weren't necessarily talking about the 21 Day Fix. I was just still talking to her. And I think that's the important thing. Like, when you're doing follow-ups, don't just follow up about the programs or about Shakeology. Follow up with, about their lives, like what's going on, because that's the way you're connecting to them as a person, not just as a Success Club point or something like that. You want to show, and you want to be genuinely interested in what's going on in their life. So, just by talking to them about other things down the road, they're, it finally dawns on them, like you said, like they're just busy and they forget about certain things. And they're like, did I ever get back to you about, that I was really interested in that program, or I was interested in getting a sample of the shake. And, it just doesn't dawn on them all the time. So, just make sure you don't close that door if somebody doesn't say yes right away.
Yeah, that's a great tip too, because once you need the relationship to really help someone with the weight loss, the health piece. And then if it leads to them being a coach, like, you are going to, the more that you have a relationship with them, the better you can help them. And it's also the piece that you can't put a price on. So you start bringing these people into your life that become friends. They become more than friends. They're your team members, your challengers. So it's just this great circle of love.
I did forget to mention one thing about my my daily routine, something that I do every day at work. If you work in front of a computer like I do, I work on spreadsheets and stuff a lot during the day. So I will plug my headphones in, and that's where I get a lot of my personal development in. I mean, I do read some of the books, but I'll look up YouTube videos, or I'll listen to like Fit Mama calls or Rockstar calls, like all the playbacks and stuff. And I'll just listen to it in the background while I'm doing my work. And that's just something I do every day. It's, you know, become part of routine. So if you have any downtime where you're doing something monotonous and you just need, instead of listening to music, like listen to personal development, it's a great way to kind of sneak it in. It took me a while to figure that out, but then once I did, I'm like, oh, this is so easy to do now. And it's just part of my daily routine. So if you have any opportunity for that during your day, I would suggest trying that out.
That's a good tip. Okay, Jen, I've seen it, so I, would like for you to do a little processing here and share with us how you've grown in the last 7 months from, when you started this. So I've seen the growth, the personal growth in you, and I'd like for you to, put that into words for us.
I'll try my best. So I guess my biggest growth is just like confidence. More than anything, when I first was thinking about signing up as a coach, my husband is a huge supporter, but in the beginning he's like, are you sure you're not going to be able to like post about yourself and, put videos of your, like, are you going to be able to do that? Are you sure? Like, that's so not you. And I was like, well, I think I'll give it a try. I was at a point in my life where I was looking for something different. I needed to feel useful. My regular job is great, but I live behind a computer. I don't talk to people that much. So this was like a great way for me to change that and get that, human interaction into my life more. And I would say that's probably been like one of my biggest areas of growth, is just being able to talk to people more without feeling so hesitant. Personal development has helped me with the no's, like, because I'm an anxiety person, I jump to the worst conclusion before it even happens. So the idea of talking to people in the beginning about, fitness and would you want to join my challenge group, I would always assume that they were going to say no. And, the personal development helped, and just realizing that my way of approaching it was to just, the forming was like the biggest part for me, and to just genuinely get to know people and really understand what they want, helped me talk about it more and kind of express, my love of the company and the products and things like that with people better. And I'm definitely doing more and more things outside my comfort zone. I'm doing a race this Saturday. I've never done a race ever in my life. If you had asked me 7 months ago to do this, I would have told you no. But I see what I'm expecting my challengers to do, and that's the same thing. So I'm like, how can I not push myself beyond, what I'm asking other people to do? It scares the wits out of me, and I'm just hoping I finish and I'll be excited. But, it's just something that I think we always have to do is push ourselves outside of our own comfort zones any chance we get. I mean, Chrissy and I were just talking about this earlier. We were doing the Body Beast program, and that's, a bit of a challenge, but it was good for us because we, Christy was saying, it's like our 21-day fixers, like their day one, they're like, oh my God, what are we getting into? These workouts are crazy. I have to eat what? How many times a day? So it's always good to put yourself in a newbie position. Never forget those feelings, and that kind of helps you with your own growth as in your health and fitness, but also like with your business. Like, always think about what it's like to be new in it, and it will kind of give you energy.
Okay. Um, my last question is, on your very worst days, or your very, let's not be negative, your busiest days, as a mom. I mean, your boy, like, I actually was thinking about this before your boys are young. So your little guy was like 1.5-ish when you started, right? I mean, your boys are young. You have, you, I don't know, you're young. So you get your hands full. So on those really, really busy days, what are your absolutes? What do you make sure that you do for your business on the craziest, busiest days of all?
So a good example is when everybody had the stomach bug the other month. Obviously your priority is to taking care of your kids. And, that had to be my number one priority. In the few quiet moments, I made sure I got my posts up. There was no workout post those days because there was no time for that, and that's fine. But I made sure I posted something, inspirational that was like relevant to what was going on. I feel like as long as I stay connected to people that are watching me, that helps. And then the other thing that I did do, was make sure I was checking into my groups. I think one of the days I was supposed to post, I reached out to another coach and said, "Can you post for me?" I mean, there's just times where that happens, and it's great that we have this network of coaches, and we can just message each other and say, "I can't do today. Can you just back me up and do it?" And we do. So, I did check in with my challengers, make sure nobody was having any problems or crisis or anything like that. But that was about it, just making sure, I got some posts up on social media and, checked in with my challengers, to make sure that they were doing okay. But other than that, that was kind of it on my worst day, I guess.
Yeah, a maintenance mode.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to throw you a curveball. So this just popped in my head. You know how I am. Sometimes things just come to me. So of the people that you have brought in as a challenger, signed onto the team as a coach, let's say out of every 10-ish people, we're just going to do a guesstimate. Out of every 10 people, how many came to you out of nowhere versus, how many you went to first, even if it was just with a hello? So how many came to you out of the blue that you never talked to first?
2.
2 out of 10 or 2 total?
2 total.
2.
So out of 10, I would say.
I need a grape.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much formed with most people beforehand. It's very rare that somebody just comes to me. And I want to say, Muriel, I can't remember I think you came to me. I think you were one of my few that came, one of the 2. And that was that really only happened right after I first started coaching, and I posted like my before and afters, and I was posting about stuff I was eating. And that was just like, my very first kind of thing. And, Muriel had asked me like, "Oh, what is this thing you're doing? You've been motivating me, can you just help me with motivation right now?" Like, she wasn't ready to do 21 Day Fix at that point. She just wanted me to help keep her motivated every day. So I was like, all right, I could do that. But, again, like, she wasn't someone right out of the gate being like, "Sign me up." I saw, out of the blue. Like, that has rarely happened. I think the other time was July when we were doing that big group, and it was like a cash prize. Someone was like, "Oh, sign my, wife up for it," or whatever. But those were really it. Other than that, you just kind of have to talk to people. Kind of how it goes. And And never, like, if you are receiving any free customers, like when you hit Success Club and you're Emerald and you're receiving free customers, they can be awesome. Most of the time, you don't get a response from them. But I remember, like, one of my first free customers, she messaged me back right away and she's like, can we talk on the phone? And I was like, sure, and we had like this great conversation, and she became a great challenger. So, the company gives us a lot. And, even by way of like free customers and stuff, make sure you contact them, make sure you talk to them, reach out to them more than once. Cause they do want your support. But it's a talking world we're in, so, but I think that's half the fun. It's just talking to people. So.
Oh, I'm not muted. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it does, just the piece where you're just talking does get to be fun. And, I think you follow the same pattern where a free group is a great way to talk to people, because it's so easy to invite to that. So to just start a conversation, just be like, I started this business. I have this open group. We're just keeping each other motivated, blah, blah, blah. Can I add you in? I always suggest you do that too. You ask the person, because I add people to groups literally for a living. It's my bread and butter. And when someone just puts me in a group, not you guys, but like a jewelry group, or I'm like, what the heck? Like, don't just put me in your group. Ask me. I'm like, why am I in this group? So, ask them. And then, I mean, there's literally not one group that I would say no, but ask them, or at least if you put them in, then tell them, like, send them a message, hey, because sometimes I'll take that avenue too, and I won't ask them. I'll just be like, hey, you know what? I started this group and I thought of you. You got to check it out. If you end up not wanting to do it, let me know. I'll take you out. But I put you in there, and I hope you don't mind, taking a peek at it and seeing if it's something that would work for you. So the free group is a great way to, continue those conversations. But it's a great point. That's why I asked you, because literally, it pops up. Sometimes they come to you, sometimes. But I do this. I post 3 times a day. I am diligent. I have a schedule for it. This is my full-time thing. And 9 out of 10 do not come to me. They do not come to me. And in fact, they also resist me. It's the same. People are the same. So when you see a coach that's making it work, they don't have something you don't have. They don't, it's not something, they're not lucky. They weren't born with it. They're scrappy. They found their ways to keep the door open. So once that door has been open, they have found a way to keep it open. And you all are scrappy. Like, we all are scrappy, but you got to find your scrappy ways. So it's just trial and error, tiny things like always leaving a message with a question about them, about their life. The follow-up thing, like always going back to those people that didn't do it and now there's a sale again, and just mentioning it to them. Or there's not a sale, so you invite them to a free group, or you make sure you keep in I don't know, they sold a house, and or it's their birthday, and instead of writing it on Facebook, you send them a private message because you have a relationship with them now. So all these little scrappy things that let you, not let you, but have them let you into their life, let you become a friend. Because that's really what you're trying to do. It's like you're trying to be friends.
And I have to say, the birthday thing totally is a good way in to start forming with someone that you haven't started with yet, because I did that recently, like last month. Chrissy had mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And I tried it. And this girl from high school is like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me on my birthday. By the way, my sister and I were thinking of trying to do something, with fitness. And I see your posts all the time, and I was going to reach out to you, but I'm glad you reached out to me first. And I was like, look at that. I mean, you just don't know what will catch someone's, eye. You can be forming with somebody for months and nothing happens, and that's okay. But you could send somebody a happy birthday message, and like right away they're like, oh, I was going to call you, and then you're already talking about it. So you just never know. So it's worth trying different things. And I mean, obviously be genuine about it. I mean, I did want to wish her a happy birthday. I mean, it wasn't like I was looking for anything. So, I think all of that stuff is, good to have in your arsenal. I think I know Chrissy has like you do a handwritten notebook, I think, right, of people you contact. I know Candace mentions she uses like her notes section of her iPhone. I think no matter what, you need to have some sort of go-to for your list of people that you're contacting, whether it's just your forming list, your invites, your challengers, because as you do more and more of it, you're gonna like, who did I have where? And, it could get kind of crazy. And I know, I think Sue has it. Someone in an invite group created like this amazing form of like all the people that she's contacting, inviting, and every day of the week she's got it like, I think it was like an Excel spreadsheet or something that she created into like this nice form. And, several people were like, oh, can you send that to me? Because it's very hard to organize this stuff sometimes, I find. Most of it lives in my, I have a daily planner. So like every day there's like different notes and people listed in the margins and stuff. It's what's getting me through now. I'm totally going to need to find a new system, I think, in the long run. But, I think having something that helps you stay organized with this is a huge help.
I need an organized class, but I'm okay. I'm better than I was. All right. So I'd like to, allow you or open up to, any questions that you have for Jen. Our new shiny diamond. Joanne. Do you know how to unmute it, Joanne?
Okay.
You did it before. I'm sorry.
All right. My question is, so when you're forming with new people, if you send someone a message that you don't like, just someone that you went to high school with that you haven't talked to in a while, and you just say like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to nowadays? What are you doing for work? And they just write back, but don't ask anything about you. Or if they just say like, oh, everything's great. Thanks for checking. Hope all is well. Do you keep going with it? If you feel awkward, like, do you ask more questions, or do you just leave it and just be like, all right, great catching up with you? Because I've had that happen with some people, and it's kind of just like, okay, well, they don't ask anything back, so I don't want to be like, oh, well, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I didn't know how to handle those in the beginning, and so for a while I just kind of left them there, like I would leave it as a dead end kind of thing. But I then decided like that's just silly, and I needed to figure out a way to bring them back into a conversation. So, I would see like what they were posting about, and even if they don't ask me anything, I would just be like, oh, I see your daughter's taking horseback riding lessons. That's so awesome. I used to, ride in college. I hope she's having like a great time. And then that usually, like, if it's something specific about something that they posted, or something that I show we have a similarity with, most times I get a conversation out of it. It doesn't always lead to beach body. They'll sometimes they say, oh, you're doing the health and fitness thing. That's great. You're very inspiring. I could never do that. you know, like as almost it's like their back end way of saying, don't ask me any questions. Like, I'm already telling you I'm not doing this. And like, that's cool. That's fine, you know, but I'll still check in with them and message them every now and then. Cause that's how I was with Chrissy, you know, like she messaged me. I'm like, oh, that's great. We live in the same state. That's, you know, cool. And then it took like months before I talked to her again about it. So, you know, it just, I just think like you don't close that door, even if they're not even giving you anything to open it with. You know, so if you see something in them that you still want to talk to them about, you know, go right ahead.
Can I add to that a little bit? So those people, as long as they, like the people that are dead air and do not answer me, I usually, if I find another way, I will message them again. Like if it is something like Jen said, something else that comes up in the future that I can like connect to with them. Like if I did do horseback riding lessons or something, you know. But if not, like if the people that I've got any response from, I will always invite them to my next sneak peek, no matter what their response was. And not sneak peek, excuse me, free group. So this is why I always run a free group, because in a week or two, they responded. So I will just be like, hey, you know, I'm sitting here. It is what I'm doing. I'm sitting here, you know, sending out some invites to my 5-day free group that's next week. And I thought of you as someone I'd love to have join in. What do you think? So, you know, it's always great. So I've never invited those people to a challenge group, like to buy something that just gave me that kind of a response. But I have invited them, and I have started with sneak peeks. Like I have started to just be like with someone, I mean, it has to be a real wower, like somebody I really see it in. Like I would have done that to you, Joanne.
Thanks.
Like if I had messaged you and you were just like, yeah, I'm great, thanks. In 2 weeks would have been like, hey, you know what? You're into the fitness thing. I know you teach group fitness. I'm running this sneak peek. Like if it was someone like that teaches group fitness or like has yoga instructor on their thing or whatever, like I'm going to invite them to a sneak peek in a couple of weeks. But a good way to work it up is run a free group every single week. I mean, every single month, run a free group once a month, or have an ongoing one that you can always invite people to. So whoever responds to you, you know, that's a relationship. They responded.
Okay. Because I've messaged a bunch of people and I've gotten responses from like just about everyone. And some of them just are kind of just like, oh yeah, this is great. And then they don't ask anything about me. And then I'll be like, oh great, well, nice catching up with you. Or I'll try to like ask more questions and get more and we'll go back, but then it kind of ends because they don't really ask anything back about me. And sometimes I'll throw something out there without trying to make it obvious that I'm trying to talk about myself.
You're like, oh, it's so funny while I was messaging you. My shake spilled on my phone.
I was like, well, I'm just sitting here drinking my shake right now. But anyway. But there are some people that I've gotten into like there's one girl who's like trying to, I don't know, she's in school to be a dietitian. So I was like, I wanted her in the free group. And so I just messaged, so we talked a little bit and then I messaged her and I asked her if she would join because I thought she'd be helpful with her background and to post stuff. And she was like, oh yeah, definitely. So my next question is, how do you follow up with them after the group's over? Like, what do you just message them and say, like, what did you think about the group?
I never say, what do you think? But I'm always like, hey, like, hey, the group was pretty fun, huh? Were you able to get the workouts in? Or were you able to stick to the eating? Like, I asked them how they did in the group. Because I just learned that from Candace that you don't ask them, like, what they thought.
Oh.
You tell them it was like Candace writes like, this is how Candace talks. You know, I have to just like always do a rendition. But she's like, you know, this is what she would say. She'd be like, that group was totally awesome, huh? Or like, that group rocked, mama, huh? Like, that's what she would write. And you know what your response is? You're like, she's so cute. Oh my God. Look at, she's so cute. Yeah, it totally rocked. Had me going to a retreat this weekend. Now, listen to this. I've never been on a retreat, okay? I've never left my husband and kids ever. Have I?
No.
I don't think so. Okay, she went on some kind of retreat and she sent me a message and she was like, hey, have you made your such and such yet? Like, and I was like, come again? Like, what? And I was like, what? And she's like, oh my God, you haven't heard about such and such? And I'm like, no, what is it? And she's like, oh my gosh, it's this mind-blowing retreat. Something right up your alley, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, it was like, it's life-changing. You come out with superpowers. Like, isn't this right? Huh? And I'm like, yeah, totally. And she's like, all right, like, I'm totally going to sponsor you to do this. So Matt already went, like, got the men go and then the women go. So Matt went, and now I have to go on this retreat, which is probably going to be awesome. But, like, if there's one thing she's taught me, it's like, just take all the baloney out of your brain and remember that it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's a challenge group. It's a workout. It's eating right. It's not a big deal. So that's what I always try to remember when I message somebody. Like, I'm not asking them to marry me, Even if I'm asking them to be a coach, they can quit. I'm asking them, it's $15.95 a month. They can order a challenge group, and within 30 days, they can quit the whole thing and get all their money back. So try to give yourself that pep talk before you message people, because it will change what you say, and make sure that your message is never apologetic. Never apologize for messaging them. You want to bring the energy, you want to bring the belief. And, if you're like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm running this thing and I just thought that maybe, if you're like, just thought that, it's weak. It's like you're apologizing. So it's like, I'm running this group, I'm sending out invites, and you popped, that's my actual wording. You popped in my head as someone I would love to have in this group. And then I usually just say, what do you say? That's actually like my power message right there that I really like to send to people, whether it's a sneak peek, a challenge group, or a free group. So come up with your wording that's strong, energetic. Remember, you're a leader. You are the leader. And if you're not a leader yet, you only become one by being one. So come as a leader, as the coach. You're running the group. You are the leader of the group. And you are choosing somebody to be in the group. Pretty awesome, huh?
That was my weakness for a long time, is that I was apologetic in all of my messaging.
I thought it was God. Like, avoid the game.
I would like apologize to everybody. Well, I'm sorry to bother you, and that comes off really weak. Like, you can't give your power away. Like, if you say that in like the first line of your message, you already gave the power to the other person in the conversation. You can't do that. You have to hold the power in the conversation and be the boss. Like, I want you to do this. I thought of you. You would be awesome at this. So.
You would be awesome at getting me some more grapes right now. I'm just kidding. I don't really even want it. Comic relief. He's right. Like, and that'll come, that'll come with time and stuff. And it's really funny. Like, when you first start, it's hard because it's mostly your family and friends, and they are the hardest people to be a leader with. They're like, what do you know? Don't boss me around. Like, literally your family and friends, the people closest to you are the hardest ones to lead at all, because they just don't want to hear. And then you're going to find this too, like, they hear the same thing from someone else, like an infomercial or whatever, and then they start telling you, and you're like, you're like, I've been telling you this. So it's every single thing you experience is the same thing every single coach experience.
It's funny that you just said that, because on the Rockstar call the other night, that woman said exactly the same thing, and you weren't even on that call.
I didn't watch it yet. Yeah. It is the truth. Like my family and friends, not my friend, like, I don't know, not my friends. I mean, my friends have pretty much come around, but, yeah, like my brother, like one of my brothers who's really funny, like he's doing X3 and stuff, but he doesn't, it's like, don't tell me anything. Don't give me any tips. Okay. Like, don't give me your tips, and he will not drink shit. He will not even try Shakeology. Won't drink it. He drinks some kind of big tub of nasty protein, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to take that personally. It is what it is. I don't want his advice either. Does anybody else have questions for Jen?
General.
Shiny new diamond Jen. All right. Jen, do you have any last pieces of advice for someone that's trying to hit diamond right now, that has that as a short or long-term goal?
Just kind of keep plugging away. Kind of do what Joanne just did. If you're trying to build yourself as your own team, you're going to have to make some sacrifices, for some things. So, like she gave away 2 Success Club points to her husband because she wanted that person under her husband because she's building her team. I did the same with Matt a couple of months ago. I gave him a coach instead of taking a coach because, that's how you get to diamond. You need to have 2 emeralds under you with, 4 other coaches. So, you kind of have to be a little bit strategic about what you're doing. Now I'm kind of cushioning, I guess my legs at this point. Like I'm trying to make sure that they, stay where they are. Don't discount your discount coaches because they can eventually decide to work the business. So if you have a discount coach, maybe stick them with your spouse or whatnot, because then they could be a working coach down the road. You don't know that. And, just kind of keep plugging away. Is really all I can say at this point. I mean, from where I'm at, just kind of keep doing your thing day in, day out, be yourselves, and have fun.
All right. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I cried a lot of tears when Jen hit diamond. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll cry for all of you too. Promise. All right. Does anybody else have anything? Or Joanne, do you? Oh, were you just picking? Okay. So everybody's good? All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will, Matt will post the call because I'm not good at it. He's my tech support. And one more thing, quick announcement. The sneak peeks, I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to try to make them, I'm going to start next week. They're going to be 3 days, and they're going to be Wednesday through Friday, because I find that it's hard. I feel like, I don't know if you guys feel this, but on Mondays, I'm kind of pumped up. But then I don't invite because it's in a whole nother Monday. And then by Thursday is when I want to invite, but I'm losing my steam. So, and then the same thing happens in the group where the 5 days, by the end, it starts to die down. So I'm thinking if we have a 3-day group, just a couple more posts in there each day instead of 1 a day, 3-day group, and we start on Wednesday, that will give us the beginning of the week when we're feeling that fire to invite some people in. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to do that starting next week, and we'll see how that pans out. If it doesn't work, well, we'll tweak it again. But that was my last announcement. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for staying on, and have a great night. Thanks, Jen.
Bye. Thank you.